As a grow-out catfish farmer, knowing the best size of fish to stock is actually an important factor which a lot of farmers actually ignore. They just do things as they like without doing it appropriately. Some of these things can actually cost you a lot, not making you realize enough profit as you'd want to, because there are factors you're supposed to consider before stocking your pond from any level at all. So number one factor is you need to know where, that is the final weight or final size of your stocking. That is, what is your target? Okay, is it that you want to keep your fish to 2 kg, 1 kg table size? You need to know that. That will help you, or that will determine what you should be stocking. Okay, there are sizes you can stock. There are fingerlings, there are juveniles, standard juveniles, there are post fingerlings, there are jumbos, right? These are different sizes which I will still show you practically what the sizes look like, and you need to consider factors before you stock them, which I told you. Number one is your goal. What is your final desired weight for that particular set of fish that you want to stock? That's number one. Number two is the type of pond you're using. So there are different types of ponds, which I believe a lot of you know already. There is the surface pond, which is the likes of tarpaulin ponds. That is what I currently have here. They are called surface ponds, right? The likes of concrete ponds, the likes of rubber ponds like beggar tank or the round rubbers, right? These are surface ponds. And there are also earthen ponds or cage system ponds. So these ones are not called surface ponds. These things need to be considered before you stock, right? The type of pond you want to stock your fish inside needs to be critically considered before you know the kind of or the size of fish, the best one for you to stock in that environment. And number three is your skill set. Your skill set really matters. You need to know some things to be able to store or to stock some sizes of fish. Not everybody can handle 2 weeks old fish, which is fingerlings or ijebu. It needs an expert to be able to take care of 2 weeks old fish. So you don't just go and buy 2 weeks old fish because the price is cheaper and go pour them in your earthen pond. That is bad. That's a very, very bad practice. I would explain better, but right now let me show you what the sizes of these fishes are. So I got one particular fish out of my pond to show you what the size is. It is like, so there are fingerlings, starting from fingerlings to post fingerlings. Fingerlings starts from 3 centimeters to about 7 centimeters, right? That is fingerlings to post fingerling. Is that okay? It depends. The reason why I want to tell you the measurement in length is because this thing varies in different places. You meet a farmer, he will tell you the size of his own fingerlings. Another farmer will say another thing. So the best thing is for you to know their measurement. So ideally, fingerlings is 3 centimeters to 5 centimeters. That is fingerlings. Post fingerlings from that 5 to 7. Post fingerlings, right? So let me show you currently what they are like, and also juvenile and standard juvenile. Juvenile start from 7 to 8. Standard juvenile is 8 to 10. 8 to 10 centimeters. Then we have the last one, which is jumbo. Jumbo is between 11 centimeters to 17 centimeters. So that is jumbo size, right? I just brought, I don't have all the different sizes here. This is just one for me to show you how to measure it, and eventually you can know the size of fish you're buying. So you can bring the camera closer. As you can see, this is 10 centimeters, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 10 centimeters. So this fish is what we call standard juvenile. This is standard juvenile. For jumbo is from 11 centimeters to 17 centimeters. For fingerlings is from 3 centimeters to 5 centimeters. And for standard juvenile is from 8 centimeters to 10 centimeters. Give me a second. Now I will explain why you need to know the right size for you to stock in whatever pond you have. Now that you have known the different sizes of this fish, what size the fingerling is, the size for a standard juvenile, and the size for a jumbo, for you to now know the right size to stock in your farm. Number one factor I talked about earlier was your desire, your final goal. to what stage do you want to raise this fish to? There are people that milk fish. They are not producers, they are not hatchers, but what they do is they go to hatchers and get very small sizes of fish, like very small. It could be a week old or just more than a week, but they are still very small. They will milk these fishes and take it to their pond in their farm. They will take it to their farm and they keep growing them out. So it requires someone that has a very good technical know-how on how to take care of fries, right? Fries, to be able to handle such sizes of fish. So if that is your goal, if your goal is to raise them to juvenile or jumbo and resell to other farmers that want to raise them to 1 kg or 2 kg, then you can stock fingerlings, right, between 3 to 5 centimeters. If that is your goal, to raise them to standard or standard juvenile or jumbo, you can stock fingerlings, right? And when it gets to that particular size, then you can sell them. That is number one. Number two is if your final weight is about 2 kg and 1 kg, it then means you're just a grow-out farmer. You're not associated to this hatching thing, and you might not have the experience to handle very little fingerlings. So the best thing for you is to buy at least standard juvenile. To buy at least standard juvenile up, right? Don't go and buy fingerlings, please. To take them from where you're buying them to your farm is a whole lot of stress. A lot of them are going to die, and if you're not good with your management practices, they will not survive. All of them will die. So please don't associate yourself with fingerlings if you don't have hatching experience, right? Number two is your stocking ponds, the type of pond you want to stock them in. So if you're stocking them in a surface pond, then you can get standard juvenile. You can stock them in your surface pond. You can stock them in tarpaulin ponds, concrete ponds, your surface pond. You can stock them in there. That is standard juvenile. You can stock them in there. But please, don't take standard juvenile into an earthen pond. It is not okay to say, because when you take standard juvenile into an earthen pond, the disparity between their sizes can actually be significant in a short time. So that would mean you would need to sort very frequently, and the more you're sorting them, you're disturbing them. An earthen pond also has a lot of disturbance on them. There are some that will go very big and it will eat up a lot of the little ones, because you agree with me that in your earthen pond you don't sort always, right? So if at all that is what you want to buy and you're using an earthen pond, let me give you an advice. Buy them, take them to your farm, stock them in one of your nursery ponds. Make sure you have at least a nursery pond, right? Surface one, it could be little. Just stock them there first for like some weeks. When you see that they are a little bit big and they are jumbos and they can't easily eat up themselves again, then you can migrate them to your earthen pond. But please don't take small sizes into your earthen pond. It is not good. Then the second one is earthen pond. The second one of number two is earthen pond. So if you want to stock in earthen pond, you are advised to stock jumbos in your earthen pond. Let the sizes be at least a little bit not far from each other, so that they won't be able to eat up themselves. That will reduce the rate of cannibalism in your farm and eventually increase your profit. Okay, so please, you can stock jumbos in your earthen pond, but please don't stock fingerlings or standard in an earthen pond. Just allow them come up a little bit before you stock them in your earthen pond. And the last point, which is number three, is skill set. Like I said earlier, you need to be really good, right, to handle fingerlings. If not, a lot of them are going to die in your hands. Stop buying fingerlings. Allow these fishes to build a strong immune system for themselves before you even start stressing them, transporting them from here and there, you understand? But if you are very professional about it and your aim is to stock fingerlings to standard before you sell standard or jumbo, then be good at it. Keep your management practices very intact for you to be able to succeed with those sizes of fish, right? And if you just have a basic knowledge about fish and you're into your grow out as usual, as many persons does, you can just get jumbo to stock. Get jumbo to stock so that there won't be a lot of work for you to do. All you need to do is to feed them and to change their water. Then you sort after a long time. Feed them, change their water, sort after a long time, right? So reiterating on the points again, number one, which I talked about, is your desire, the final weight you're looking at. That will determine which size of fish for you to stock, right? Number two is the type of pond you're supposed to stock them inside, either surface pond or an earthen pond. So that will determine the size of fish you should be stocking, the best size of fish you should be stocking. And number three is your skill set. So you need to really be good to be able to handle very little fishes like fingerlings, else they are going to die in your hands and you'll just be seeing them dying massively, high mortality rate, and there'll be nothing you can do about it. So you just have to know what you can do and get the right sizes of feed that is best for your scenario for you to stock. And also stock safe. I've always been saying this: do not overstock. It is not a good practice. Your overstocking does not mean you will get more profit. In fact, you will run more loss than profit. If your pond is supposed to take 500 fishes, do not go and stock 2,000 fish inside there. It's not good. Please don't do it, right? Don't go and stock. In fact, don't stock 1,000 if your pond can carry just 500. Just stock that 500 and expand if you need to stock more. So that is the best way to go. Don't overstock. And if you have not watched that video about overstocking, I advise you to go and watch it. I think I'll put the link on this video either to the left or right. Click wherever you're seeing it right now to go and watch that video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe right now, because we're always putting out educational content on this channel. So just subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that when we give out quality tips like this, you can always get access to them and get notified, right? So you can go and watch them. Also hit the like button if you have not done that. Share this video to a lot of persons that might be interested in catfish farming, as this will help them remain profitable in fish farming. If you have a question, we are very much happy to answer your question. Please drop it on the comment section. Drop your question on the comment section and we'll be there to respond to your questions. Thank you and remain profitable.